Philippe Lazzarini, you've just met with our Foreign Minister, Penny Wong. What was your message to her?
I have informed you, Minister, that UNRWA has taken the decision to commission an independent review to look at all the allegations regarding UNRWA and its activities in Gaza. As you know, there have been quite a number of what I would say smear campaign, and I do believe it is important now to have a review to look into all these allegations, to look at what the intent behind is, but also to look at, when confirmed, what is the response the agency is giving, and depending on the response, what would be the recommendation to improve it.
Can I ask whether that review was requested by our Foreign Minister?
The new Foreign Minister has asked what the agency is intending to do to address these neutrality issues that the agency is under criticism. And I have informed the minister that a lot of thoughts have been put into this, and maybe now it is time to go beyond what the agency says and what the detractors of the agency are saying, and hence the importance, in fact, to have this review. So today I have announced the intent of the review, and I hope that in the coming week, 10 days, I will be able to inform, in fact, not only on the scope of the review, but also who will undertake the review.
So Australia has donated $6 million to your agency. Can you give us a sense of how that money will be spent?
Oh, listen, our needs are enormous, especially in the context of the Gaza crisis, which is absolutely unprecedented, and the support of Australia will be used, in fact, within our current emergency humanitarian response. As you know, in the Gaza Strip, you have a looming starvation, you have widespread hunger, we have also a looming disease outbreak taking place. So the needs are absolutely enormous, and we need the mobilization of the entire international community to support our activities, but also to reverse the tide of a looming catastrophe.
Well, you've spoken of Gaza as hell on earth, and you've just been on your 4th visit there. What conditions have you found on the ground?
Each time I go back to Gaza, there is something new which strikes me. The last time I went, this week, in fact, I spent 3 days. I have seen all of a sudden, plastic makeshift mushrooming between Rafah and Deir el-Balah, basically on a stretch of 20 kilometers. You have hundreds of thousands of people now living in the street in this plastic makeshift. They sleep on concrete. Now it's winter, it's very cold. And what I have seen also is that people now are just in automatic survival mode. People are more and more anxious about the future. They realize that life might not be back the way they would have expected, and they also expect to be in this, I would say, miserable condition for the while to come.
You're the main international agency operating in Gaza. How have your operations changed since October 7? I mean, what capacity are you operating at compared to pre-October 7?
Pre-October 7, we were primarily providing human development activities. We were providing education to 300,000 children. We were providing primary health care across the Gaza Strip. Since October 7, the agency has been in a complete humanitarian mode or humanitarian response mode. Now the focus is primarily on saving life. The focus is primarily on providing food and also providing primary health care. I have to say that we are still lagging behind. The needs are enormous, and the aid trickling into Gaza is not commensurate to these needs.
You've said in recent days that more trucks are getting through the border crossings into Gaza, but you've spent time at the Rafah crossing where aid convoys are inspected before moving in. What's that process like?
It's an extraordinarily cumbersome process taking place. Basically, a truck coming from Egypt, from El Arish, which is the main logistical hub in the Sinai. It takes an average of 5 to 7 days for the truck to reach destination. And here we are talking about a stretch of no more than 100 kilometers. And this is primarily due to the inspection and to the bureaucracy taking place. So the process is extremely cumbersome. But once we have the aid inside the Gaza Strip, we have the challenges also of moving within a military operation environment, and the deconfliction is also taking a lot of energy and present a lot of impediment to our response.
Well, finally, you've warned against the rise of dehumanizing language in this conflict. What concerns you?
What concerns me the most is that this conflict has been so divisive that empathy is not expressed anymore on both sides. Either you have an international community expressing deep empathy and compassion for Israel, which has gone through a big collective trauma after the horrible massacre of October 7, or people are just expressing empathy to the Palestinians, but in reality, having a unilateral empathy is reinforcing the polarization which is prevailing here in the region. And in fact, I'm drawing the attention about the fact that the plight of the Israeli and the plight of the Palestinian need to be equally acknowledged, and the life of an Israeli is as important as the life of a Palestinian, and vice versa.
Philippe Lazzarini, thank you so much for talking to us tonight.
Thank you so much for inviting me.